This conference will now be recorded.
And in the previous session, we started developing visual force space. Okay, in the classic question, we started developing the visual force space. Now we are trying to opening that page. Okay, we are trying to opening that page. How to open an existing visual force space? Go to develop and visual force pages. Go to visual force pages. Go to visual force pages, and it is taking some time. Yeah, and click on this existing visual force page. Click on this one and click on the preview. Click on the preview. Okay, this is our visual force page, right? This is our visual force page, and we wrote the corresponding apex class. The corresponding apex class. This is our apex class. Okay, this is our apex class. Class name, and these are the variables which we declared. Okay, each and every variable we declared with the setters and getters, and this is a constructor. Okay, this is a constructor, and this is a method. This is another method. Two methods we declared. Okay, two methods we declared. Now our requirement is user will enter data. User will enter data, and click on the save button. Click on the save button. Then we have to take that data. We have to take that data, and based on that data, we have to insert one record. That is our requirement. Okay, that is our final target. Our target is, this is my UI. Okay, this is my UI. From the UI, user is entering the data here. User will enter data from here. Okay, user will enter data from here. Once you will enter data from here and click on the submit button, click on the save button, then what we are expecting, whatever user entered data, right, that data we are passing into the apex class. Apex class is nothing but controller. We are passing to the controller. Why we will call it as a here apex class as a controller is nothing but, when we will click on the save button, our request, it will go to the apex class, right? That apex class, technically we will call it as a controller. Okay, the class which receive the first request, which receive the first request from the UI. First request where which class it will go to, that class technically we will call it as a controller. That class technically we will call it as a controller. Okay, our requirement is, when user click on the save button, whatever user entered the data, right, that data here we have to take it. Once we take, then what we have to do, here I have one object is there. My object name is nothing but anything, it doesn't matter here. So student info, this is my object name. This is my object name. In this object we have some custom fields and standard fields are there. One is name, another one is first name, another one is last name, and some other fields. So this data we have based on this particular data, we have to create one student record. This is our final target. This is our final target. Okay, when user click on the save button, we have to perform business logic, right? We have to perform what kind of logic we want to perform. Collect this data. Based on that data, we have to insert a record. We have to insert a record. So generally, basically, where we will write our business logic, we will write our business logic inside methods, right? We will write our business logic inside method, right? So here we are going to write a method. Here we are going to write a method that is nothing but this one. This is my method. This is my method. See here, this is my method. Public void. This is my method name. The return type we are using void. Why void? We'll discuss by the end of this session. We will understand. Then the access modifier is nothing but public, open curly braces, close curly braces. Then here we have to tell to the system, whenever you will click on the save button, we have to execute this particular method. In this method only we perform business logic. We have to execute this business logic. We have to execute this business logic means, we have to tell to the command button. We have to tell to the save button, execute this method. How to tell is nothing but, how we are going to inform to this command button is nothing but, here we are going to use action attribute. When user click on the save button, we are telling to the command button, execute this particular method. Okay, execute this particular method. Here it will go to this particular method and it will execute this logic. It will execute this logic. Here your question or my question is, whenever we will click on this particular save button, we are guarantee it will enter into this student record method. We are guarantee. How we will find whether it is entered or not? In which way we will find? In which way we will find? My question is here, when user click on the save button, when user click on the save button, then what I am saying, it will go to this particular method. How we are saying it is going to exactly this particular method only? Here we have action attribute is there, right? Action attribute. So here one method is there, right? The system, it will enter into this particular method. So I am telling it will enter into this particular method, but you are asking what is the proof, whether it will enter into this particular method or this particular method or constructor. What is the proof? What is the proof? So here we are going to add debug logs. See here, debug logs are for our understanding purpose. Whenever we will click on the save button, it is entered into this particular method or not. So here system dot debug enter into constructor. Okay, enter into constructor. Okay, system dot debug is completely for our understanding. Okay, it will print in the back end. Okay, system dot debug enter into create student method, create method. Okay, create method. Okay, this is for our understanding. Then what I will do, I will just go and print these values. These values are also assigning properly or not. What I will do, I will just go and print. Okay, system dot debug. Here debug. Okay, first name, see here, go to here, first name. We are going to print like this. Okay, we are going to print like this each and every variable, whatever the variable you want, you will just go and print. So we added debug statements, right? We added debug statement. So why we added debug statement? Here I am trying to saying, whenever user click on this particular button, it will go to this create student record method. Okay, it will enter into this particular method. So what is the proof for this one? We are just adding the debug statement. We're adding debug statement here, entered into create method. We are adding debug statement here also. In the constructor level also we added in one debug statement. Now where we will see this debug logs? Where we will see this debug log? That is my next question. Where we will see this debug logs is nothing but go to setup. Go to setup, we have to activate the debug logs. Okay, we have to activate the debug logs. Go to setup, in the quick find you have to type it as a debug. In the quick find you have to type it as a debug. Debug logs are there, right? Click on the debug logs. Okay, click on the debug logs. Whether it is a classic version or lightning version, suppose we want to see the debug logs. Debug logs at the instance level. This is only the process. This is only the process we have to remember, and it is very important. It is very important. We have to remember how to activate the debug logs, how to see the debug log, that we should remember. So once again, go to setup. In the quick find you have to type it as a debug logs. You have to type it as a debug logs. Click on the debug logs, then it will redirecting into this particular screen. Here we are working with which user we are working. We are working with the Ramesh, right? For that Ramesh user only we have to activate the debug logs. With which user ID we logged in into here? With which user ID we logged in into the system? With Ramesh user ID, right? So now we are going to activate the debug logs for the Ramesh. See, click on this new button. Click on this new button. Okay, click on this new button. A traced entity type is there, right? Go to a traced entity type. User is there, automate process is there, platform integration, apex class triggers are there. Here we will go with the user. Here we will go with the user. Here we will go with the user. Okay, so because of for user only we are trying to activating, right? For Ramesh user only we are trying to activating, right? Here traced entity name is there. Traced entity name. Click on this one. Okay, click on this one. Okay, see, for which user we are trying to activating? For Ramesh user only we are trying to activating, right? The start date is nothing but, see, current date it will take, and expiration date is 30 minutes. Okay, see here, 6:40, 7:10, 30 minutes. Suppose you want to increase the time, go to here, we'll just go and increase here. You will just go and increase here as our wish. If you want to go and increase the time also, for example, I am trying to increasing like like 9 10 a.m 9 10 a.m. Okay, by default it is 30 minutes. Now coming in here, debug level is with the red mark. Debug level is with the red mark. What is this red mark? Here we have lookup icon is there and a new debug level is there. Lookup icon is there, new debug level is there. First click on the lookup icon. Click on the lookup icon. It will show the existing debug levels. See here, it will show the existing debug levels. The existing debug levels. Lot of debug levels are there, right? See, a lot of debug levels are there. Whenever we will click on this particular lookup icon, it will show all existing debug levels. Okay, it will show all existing debug levels. Which debug level we have to select? So which debug level we have to select? You have to observe under apex code finest is there, right? Finest, apex code finest is there, right? That here we have to select. Okay, that here we have to select. What is this finest? We'll discuss. Okay, we'll discuss. So whenever you will click on this lookup icon, it will show all debug levels. All debug levels. Which one we have to select means where apex code is equals to finest. That we have to select. Anyone who created it doesn't matter. Who created it doesn't matter. We have to select all the debug levels. We have to select all the debug levels where apex code is equals to finest, where apex code is equals to finest. So we selected here, right? Now otherwise we have to select the existing debug level, or you will just go and create a new debug level. You will just go and create a new debug level. Click on this new debug level. Click on this new debug level. It will redirecting into this particular screen here. You have to provide some name. I will provide like ABC or something, some meaningful name, otherwise log, dev console, anything, some meaningful name you will just go on to provide. So here database is there, workflow is there, here drop down list is there. For everyone there is a finest is there, right? Here which one we are working? We are working with the apex code, right? Go to the apex code directly. Go to the apex code directly. Here lot of options are there. See here, error is there, worm is there, info, debug, fine, finer, finest. We have to select the finest. Suppose we want to create a new debug level, then go to the apex code level. You have to select the finest and you have to provide some name. You have to provide some name. Suppose you want to select the existing debug level, go to this particular lookup icon. Whatever the debug level you have to, what it will show lot of debug levels. Okay, the existing debug levels it will show. Which one we have to select? We have to select where apex code is equals to finest. Why we have to select where apex code is equals to finest? In the sense means whenever we are running anything, it will show all the logs, all the information what happened backend. First this constructor it will load. So line in from this constructor this line is executed. So this line is executed, so then it is going into this next line, then it is going into the next line. So it will show each and every information. Whenever we are running the apex programming, it will show clear picture. So you are running this class and this is the starting point. It is going to the next level, it is going to the next line, like that. Each and every line it will show. That is nothing but apex code is equals to finest. Apex code is equals to finest. Suppose we want to see, go to here again. Here, go to here. Apex code is equals to, go click on new debug level. Now go to here, debug only. See, apex code is equals to debug means, suppose we will select the debug level where apex code is equals to debug means, it will show only debug logs from your apex program. You are writing some apex program. In the apex program it will display only this debug statement. Only this debug statements only it will display. That is nothing but apex code is equals to debug. Apex code is equals to debug. So now here we are trying to selecting existing debug level. Once again, we have to activate the debug logs. Okay, so why we have to activate the debug logs is nothing but whenever we are running any apex programming, then what exactly happening in the backend, which one is running first, which is the output that we want to see. Debug logs are for our information only, for our understanding only. So whether it is a lightning version or classic version, this is the same process. We have to go to the setup and we have to activate the debug logs. Debug, See here, debug logs are there, right? Click on the debug logs. It will redirecting into this particular screen. Go to here, click on this new button. Click on this new button. So we have to activate the debug log for the particular user. Go to here. See, we have to activate the debug logs for this particular user. Yes, we activate it for this. So this debug logs by default it is a 30 minutes. It is activated on up to 30 minutes only. If you want, we will increase the time. So now we have to select the debug level. What is this debug level is nothing but we have to select the existing one, or will create a new one. If any existing one is there means you will just go directly select the existing one. Here lot of things are there. Which one we have to select? Where apex code is equals to finest. What is apex code is equals to finest in the sense means it will show all the information while running our apex programming. It will show all the information, each and every line it will show. This line executed and this is the output, this line executed, this is the output. So that's why apex code is equals to finest. Click on the save button. So we activated debug logs. We activated debug logs. Any questions? We will run one thing, then we will see if we have any questions. Now go to here, go to here, go to here, enter all these details, test1, and click on the save button. When click on the save button, then what I'm saying, it will go to this particular method, right? Click on the save button. Click on the save button. Now go to here, refresh this one, refresh debug log. See, the system automatically generated, right? Status is success, 190 milliseconds, log size is this one, start time is this one. For which user it is generated? For Ramesh user it is generated, right? So here three options are there: view is there, download is there, delete is there. Go to your view, go to your view, you have to go to your view. So click on the view. We have to open in different tab. You have to open in different tab. Okay, you have to open in different tab. Now here you have to understand, here you have to understand line number one. Whenever we will click, this is nothing but a constructor. Okay, this is nothing but constructor. Now go to here, go to here, where is our method? See, entered into create method, right? Line number 21, line number 21, entered into create method, right? Entered into create method. Okay, go to here, 1 second. This is our debug log. See here, it will provide each and every information. We are working with this particular visual ports page. Okay, we are working with this. This is a constructor. Then now coming into here, entered into this, it is lot of information is there in this debug log, right? Now we want to find exactly my debug log, whether it is entered into this particular method or not. How we will find? I will copy this codes here. I will copy this one, and I will go to here. I will go to here. I will copy this one. See here. I will search here. Control F, I will search. So now we are guaranteed, right? Enter into this create method, right? It is providing lot of information. I don't want all this information. We don't want all this information. What is this one? What is this one? We don't want all this information. We have to find it directly. Our debug, I mean, it is entered into this particular method or not, that we have to find. How to find? Take this debug statement. Okay, take this debug statement. Okay, take this debug statement. Go to here. Go to here. See, entered into create method. Okay, entered into create method. This is line number 21, right? See, line number 21. Go to yes. Line number 21, entered into create method. Whenever we will click on the save button, we are guaranteed it is entered into create method. Next we will see system.debug first name, it is printed or not. Line number 22, right? Go to here, you have to verify yes. Line number 22. See here, line number 22, yes. First name is equals to test. Yes, it is capturing. So whatever here we are entered this data, right? Whatever here we are entered the data, right? That data we are storing into this particular variable, right? We are storing into this particular variable, right? Fname variable we are storing, right? So that's what here we are printing, right? Entered into this create method, we are guaranteed. Then the next one is we are trying to printing the first name plus fname. We are guaranteed, right? How we are identify whether it is enter into this particular method and the first name it is capturing. How we are identifying? We are activated debug logs. Debug logs are for our information. Any questions on how to activate debug logs and how to see the debug logs? Any questions?
Sir, I have some questions.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
you said that we can just create a new debug log, or we can just select from the existing ones. How do we?
Yes.
how do we know for sure that that particular whatever we are selecting the already existing one, which is not assigned or which is not already in use for something else? In that case, can we take same debug log for can we take the same one for our debug logs?
No, it doesn't matter. So your question is, we are trying to selecting the existing debug log level, right? So which one we have to select? I mean, whether some other person is using, it doesn't matter. So go to there and you have to select any debug log level where Apex code is equals to finest. That debug log level we are assigning to my user. So, and it will run my user mode only, whether someone is using that one or it doesn't matter. That's what your question, Nirmala, right?
Oh, okay. So in production also we can, so when it goes to how it will be in real what is it like in the real projects, like, because if you create uh, in your user, and if I am creating one for my user and I am using for different reasons and you are using for different reasons, so you will be able to see only your own debugs, and I will not debug logs whatever you have activated, and I would not be able to see mine. I would not be able to see yours.
No. You have all debug logs. So suppose we are all working in one project. You activated the debug logs for your user. I activated the debug logs for my user. So someone will activated the debug logs for their user. But finally, based on the username, it will differentiate and everyone will see the debug logs. Go to here, debug logs are there, right? So it will see. So for example, go to here, click on this new button, click on this one. I will select another user, Akira Mohit. I will activate the debug logs for Akira Mohit here. Okay. So you will just go and select anyone where Apex code is equals to finest and click on the save button. Okay. So suppose Akira Mohit is running the Apex programming, then it will produce the debug logs where you will find here only in the same. So everyone will see another logs also. Okay.
Oh,
Everyone will see another log. This is only the place. This is only the place all users can view the logs.
mhm. Okay. Yes,
Got
okay,
or
got
any other
yeah,
questions?
yeah. Yes, sir.
So you have any questions, let me know. So because of how many lines of code is there, it doesn't matter. 2000 lines, 3000 lines, 500 lines, 1000 lines code, it doesn't matter. Suppose we are getting any issues, what is our next step is we have to activate the debug logs. We have to activate the debug logs for the current user. While activating the debug logs, whether it is a 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour or one day as your wish, then debug log level is nothing but finest. That is the first one. Now you activated the debug log. Then the next one is, what is your issue? Whenever I will click on the save button, my issue is coming, my record is not saving. First of all, you have to understand, when click on the save button, where it is going. It is going into this particular method. Go to that particular method and you have to add the debug statement. So when click on the save button, go and verify the debug log first, whether it is entered into this particular method or not. Yes, it is entered. Then what is the next line? Next line, it is executing or not. In that way we have to go. In that way we have to go. So that's why activating the debug logs are very important. Debug logs are completely our understanding purpose. Okay. Now we are guaranteed, right? It is entered into this particular method. It is entered into this particular method. We are guaranteed. This is my method. Okay. This is my method. Okay. This is my method. We are guaranteed. Okay. 1 second. This is my method and we are guaranteed. Then what is my next step? What is my next step? Yes, user entered the data and click on the save button. We are calling the controller method and the data is assigning into the proper variables. The data is also assigning into proper variables. Then what is my next step? My next step is we have to create a record, right? See here, we have to create one student info record. Student info is a custom object. In that custom object, whatever the data user entered, based on the data, we have to create a record. First of all, we have to verify whether where is student info object. Where is student info object? Whether it is a classic version or lightning version, go to here, setup. Okay, go to setup. Now go to create objects. Object, any student info object is there. If not, I will just go and create. Yes, student info object is there. Student info. If you want, you will just go and create one custom object. Go to here, you will just go and create one custom object. student info. Already I created one custom object. My custom object name is nothing but student info. Any name, it doesn't matter. Go and create one custom object. Go and create one custom object. Then the next step is you will just go and create the fields. Whatever the fields you want here, first name, last name, mother name, father name, right? If you want some other information, you will just go and create. So our object is also ready, right? Our object is also ready. Now what is my target? My target is we have to create a student info record. So how to create a student info record? By using programming. By using programming, suppose we want to create one account record. How we will create an account record? By using programming, suppose we want to create an account record. Go to here, account ACC is equals to new account, right? New account, we have to use API of that particular account, right? Then acc dot name is equals to all mandatory details you have to enter, and you have to put into insert acc, right? Insert acc, right? Insert acc. By using programming, suppose we want to create one account record. Yes, we created an account record, right? Now my requirement is we have to create one student info record. Yes, how to create a student info record? Go to here, student info, take that particular API student info underscore c underscore c. Yes is equals to new student info underscore c. And the next one is, what is the mandatory field? Name is a mandatory, right? Here s dot name is equals to test, right? And the next one is first name is there, right? S dot here, s dot first name is equals to test1, right? Test1. And s dot last name, whatever the data we want, whatever the data we want, last name is equals to last any name I am trying. Okay, go to here. And the next one is s dot mother name. S dot mother name is equals to mother name. And the next one is, okay, mother name here, enter all these details. And now go to your father name is there, right? S dot father name, s dot father name is equals to father name, right? Father name in a single quote I am trying to assigning because of this is a text variable. Finally insert, right? Insert, suppose we want to one insert one student info record. Okay, like this we will just go and insert, right, by using programming. But here name is there, right? Name, first name, last name, mother name, father name. User is entering some data. User is entering some data. Based on that data we have to create a record, right? Based on that data we have to create a record, right? So user will enter data, that data where we are trying to capturing first name, and we are trying to capturing into fname variable. How we are storing into fname variable? Here go to that particular text box. Here you have to observe, go to this particular text box. In this text box we are adding this particular variable, right? We are telling to this text box, we are telling to this text box, okay, we are telling to this text box whatever the user entered data, right, that data you have to store into this particular variable. We are telling to this text box whatever user entered data, right, that data you have to enter into this particular last name variable. Now this variable, in this particular variables we are storing the data. Now what we will do, instead of entering this data like this, whatever we are collecting from the UI, whatever we are collecting from the UI, so that variables we are assigning. Fname first name is there, right? That data we are trying to assign. Last name here, last name, whatever user entered in the last name we are trying to capturing into this particular variable, right? Whatever user entered data, right, that data we are trying to capturing into mname, right? Here mname. And whatever user entered data, right, that data we are trying to capturing into father name, right? Into father name. If you want, you will just go and create, if you want, you will just go and create some other way fields here and assign this variable to this particular field. Here you have to observe, we're assigning I'm not using any single quote. Single quote means it is a string. Here this is a variable, variables we are assigning. Whatever there in the fname you have to assign into first name underscore c. What is there in the fname? What is there in the fname? In the fname, this is one text box is there, line number 8, we have one text box. Input to text value is equals to fname. So whatever user entered in this text box, that we are storing into this fname. So like this last name and mother name, father name. So finally insert yes. Copy this code and go to this particular method, insert this one. Yes, whenever user click on this particular method, particular button, whenever user click on this particular button, see here, whenever user click on this particular button, save button, what we are telling to this button, you have to go and execute this particular method. Yes, it is entered into this particular method. First it will execute this debug statement. Debug statement is for our understanding. Next it will execute this line. It will print fname. What is fname? Whatever you are entered, right, it will display here. Now next what we are doing, we are trying to creating one student info instance. We are trying to creating, for that one we are trying to assigning the variables here. S dot name is there, right? This is full name. What I will do is I will add f name plus last name. I will just go and add it as a first name variable. We are trying to adding complete name. First name is first name, last name is last name, name is nothing but full name. First name plus last name. Finally we are trying to inserting, finally we are trying to inserting this to s record. Any questions on this one? Any question? Okay, now we will just go and copy this code. I am copying this code and go to my visual apex class. Where is my apex class? Go to my controller. Where is my method? See, this is my method. I am just pasting into here. Click on this one. Finally try to save this one. Finally try to save this one. So now we will just go on to verify. We will just go on to verify here. So go to student info tab. Go to here, student info tab. Go to here. 1 second. Student info tab. Where is student info tab? Yes, student info tab is there. Student info on this one. Go to here, student info. What is the tab name? 1 second. What is the tab name? Student infos. Okay, go to here, student infos. That is my tab name. 1 second. Student infos. Yes, student infos is there, right? Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Now what I will do, I will go to here, I will enter all the details here. We are trying to creating one student record, Akira, and click on the save button. When click on the save button, what exactly happening in the backend? We are telling to this command button you have to execute one method. Yes, click on the save button. It is entered into this particular method. Once it is entered into this particular method, what it will do, it will execute this logic, right? Finally it will create one student record, right? Finally it will create one student record. Go to here, it is created that student record or not. Go to here, refresh this one, refresh here, Akira, one student record it is created, right? First name, last name, mother name, father name, one student record it is created, right? So we are taking the data from the UI and we are passing the data to the apex class. Once we pass the data to the apex class, based on that data we are trying to creating one student record. Based on that data we are trying to creating a student record. For example, we will just go and create one more record. Go to here, go to here, Akira, I am trying to creating one more student, Mohit, Nandan, and Mohit, and here Mohit. Okay, finally try to save this one. Finally try to save this one. Now go to again, go to this student, go to this student object, go to here, refresh this one. See, Mohit Nandan, one student record is created, right? So we are guaranteed, right? See here, now we are understanding, right, how to take the data from the user. The main concept of this example is how we will enter the data into the UI, how we will enter the data into the UI. See, so that's why we designed one UI, right? Yes, you enter the data in the UI, you enter the data in the UI, then you have to pass this data to this apex class. How to pass this data to the apex class? Yes, we pass this data into the apex class. We pass the data to the apex class. Yes, we pass the data into the apex class. Yes, we pass. Once we pass, then what we will do with that particular data? Based on my requirement, we have to create one record. Yes, we created one record here. We created one record. The main agenda of this example is how to design one UI. Once user entered data there, then how to pass that data to the controller, means apex class. So how to capture that data? Once we will take that particular data, how we will insert into the object? That is the main agenda. That is the main agenda. So to understand the basic concepts, how we are going to enter the data into the UI, once we enter the data into the UI, how to pass that data into Apex class, once we will pass that data, then where it will store. Yes, once it will store into the variable, then what we have to do. So how to call the method, how to pass the data to the variables. To understand this basic information, we discuss this example. Now this record is creating, right? This record is creating, but my requirement is here. My requirement is here. Okay, so suppose you will just go to here and you will enter the details here. You will enter details here. Okay, and what system it will do? It will create one student info record, right? My requirement is go to that particular record. Yes, you are creating a record, then why again you are staying here only? Go to that particular record. Go to that particular record. Whenever you will click on the save button, your method is executing. Yes, this is your method. This is your method. Your method is executing. Based on this method, it is performing some logic. So this logic is to creating a student info record, right? Student info record it is creating, right? So the next step is what? Go to that particular record. Why you are sharing the, why you are staying here only? Go to that particular record. How to navigate, the next step is how to navigate, how to navigate to that newly created record. Okay, from Apex class. From Apex class, we have to navigate to that particular newly created newly created record, right? We have to navigate. I want to, whenever you will click on the save button, it should create a new record. Yes, once new record is created, I have to open that particular record. I have to open that particular record. That is my requirement. That is my requirement. How to navigate to that newly created record from Apex class, in the sense means go to the Google. We will search in the Google. We have page reference is there. Okay, page reference. Okay, how to navigate to newly created record from Apex class in Salesforce. Apex class in Salesforce. How to navigate? No need to remember all these syntaxes. Okay, no need to remember all these syntaxes. One, how to redirect to the newly created record in Visual Force space. Okay, in Visual Force space. Now go to here, scroll down, it is taking some time. Scroll down here. So which one we will select? Means suppose it will open like this, means some green marks are there. That is the correct answer. Okay, green mark is there. That is the correct answer. Now go to here. You have to go with some other link. Go to here. This is in lightning. Okay, navigate. Get this is in lightning in Visual Force space. You have to type it as a Visual Force space. Visual Force space in Visual Force space. Here. Go to here. This link is not suitable. Page receipt after new record. You have to go to one by one, where we will understand. Up to that, go to there. Go to each and every link. Okay, go to each and every link. I'm trying to closing this one. Go to here. Scroll down here. Scroll down. Here you have to observe. This is with the green mark, right? This is with the green mark. This is the correct answer. Okay, this is the correct answer. Page reference here. Copy this code. 1 second, otherwise copy this one. I will explain. Okay, the copy this code, I will explain. Okay, see here you have to observe. The first we have to remember page reference. Okay, page reference instead of void, first one is we have to use page reference. Page reference. Okay, page reference. Why we are using page reference? My requirement is we want to redirect to the newly created record. Then the method return type should be page reference. Then method return type should be page reference. Then where you want to redirect? I want to redirect to this newly created record, right? Then page reference PR is equals to new page reference. Then you have to put like this. Then which record we want to redirect? Yes dot id. Yes means this is complete student record. From the student record I want id. Based on that id only we want to open, right? What is this line is nothing but go to here. Go to here. What is this line is nothing but go to here. Whenever we will open any record, here you have to observe. Here you have to observe. So whenever we will open any record, see how we will open a record by using id, right? So we are trying to creating a record. Once record is created, what system it will do? It will generate an id. It will generate an id. Based on that id only we will open a record. For example, go to here. Any record you will take. Any record you will take. See any record. See, we have to use this id, right? Any record. So here also we are doing the same thing. We want to redirect to this newly created record. How to redirect to the newly created record? Yes dot id. You will just go and use yes means student record id. See here, page reference pr is equals to new page reference. This is the same syntax. Then see here, set redirect. What is the set redirect? Forget about this one, we'll discuss. Okay, pr dot set redirect false. Forget about this one, we'll discuss. Okay, then return pr. So how to navigate to the newly created record from this particular method? That is my next step. How to navigate to the newly created record? That is my next step. So first of all, we have to go and use the method return type as a page reference. Page reference is nothing but what is a page reference? That is new, our next question. So page reference in Apex class. Go to here, page reference in Salesforce. Okay, in Salesforce, here page reference is a class. Okay, page reference is a class. Just remember, suppose we want to redirect to the some other page or newly created record or different page. Suppose we want to redirect. Okay, then which one we have to use? Whatever the method is there, right? That method return type we have to use page reference. Page reference is nothing but it is an Apex class. List is Apex class, right? Set is an Apex class. So like that, page reference is also an Apex class. So yes, the first step is at the method level, you will just go and use page reference. Then what is my next step? We want to redirect to the newly created record, right? So that's why here we are using, we are trying to creating an instance. So for class, for example, class A is there. I want to access this particular class. What we have to do? A OA is equals to new A, right? So which constructor we will call based on our requirement, right? Like that page reference is a class. So page reference PR is equals to new page reference. Then this constructor we are trying to call him. This constructor we are trying to call him. Then forget about this set redirect. We'll discuss. Finally, return statement. We have to use a return statement. Return this page reference. This and return this page reference. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Yes dot id means we are trying to creating one student record, right? Student record we are trying to creating. Suppose we want to open any record, go to here you have to observe. Suppose we want to open any record, see, and the url id is coming, right? I want to open this record. We want to open this record. So yes dot id we are using. Page reference, we are trying to creating an instance. While creating an instance, backslash plus this id, and the next one is set redirect to false. What is this set redirect means? We'll discuss in class. Set redirect is a method. Set redirect is a method that I am making it as a false. Return this one. Now I'm copying this code. I'm copying this code. Go to my Visual Force page. Go to my Visual Force page here. Okay, go to my Visual Force page. See, I'm just removing this one and paste this one. Finally try to save this one. Finally try to save this one. It is saved, right? For example, I'm missing any commas here. Finally click on the save button. See here, missing colon at line number 29. Line number 29, see here, we are missing some comma. See line number, but here line number 29 everything is fine, but it is showing line number 29 means just one line up. Go to here or the same line, I have to verify. Okay, here we are missing colon. Click on the save button. Okay, click on the save button. Now here you have to observe. Okay, am am am. Okay, am, and click on the save button. Here you have to observe, once click on the save button, previously what happening, it is in the same page, right? Now what happening, it is redirecting to the newly created record, right? So once again go to here. Okay, go to here. What is our method? Our method is nothing but demo student form. Click on this one. Okay, click on this one. See, previously before using page reference, what happening exactly, whenever we enter the details, click on the save button, my command button is calling my controller method, it is inserting a record, but it is not redirecting to that particular record. My requirement is we have to redirect to that particular record. How to redirect to that particular record? How to redirect to that particular record? Okay, so we are going to use page reference here. We are using page reference here. Page reference here we are using. Okay, any questions on this one or any confusion?
Sir, no questions. I have one question. The editor window that you have, right? The Apex, wherein the class that you are writing. Oh, how are you getting that one, sir?
Which one, ma'am? This
The
one?
not this one, the other one. In the Salesforce.
Yeah, this is Apex class, right? This one you are
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, how did you get this editor window? Because when I am using the Apex class, it is not coming in this form of having the save button and all those things. Is
No,
it that?
you trying to opening this Apex class from this Visual Force page, right? I think you are directly you opening the Apex class. So here how we are opening? First we are opening the Visual Force page, right? Here you have to observe. This is my Visual Force page. This click on preview. When click on the preview, what happening? This Visual Force page it will open. For this Visual Force page, what is the Apex class? That class also it will open. But I think you are directly created Apex class and you are trying to opening that one. Here for this Visual Force page, this is the Apex class and here it is opening. Okay,
For
got
me,
it.
I'm not getting this. Okay,
రమేష్ గారు ఐ థింక్ కంట్రోలర్ ఇవ్వలేదేమో.
Controller, you provided controller or not? You are saying this class is not coming, Nirmala?
No, I have a class in Apex class, but I'm not getting this particular this whatever you are doing here, and you are able to see the same in the page itself. You are doing all these actions, right? That part is I'm not able to see that in my
A
Apex.
controller here it is coming.
Yeah, it
You
is
are
coming.
you are
Yeah,
added
yes. Uh, let me
try to.
let me check in my code also, sir. Yeah, I'll confirm that tomorrow. Yeah, sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, okay, no issues. Thanks, Mahesh. And any other questions? Now we are guaranteed, right? Now we are sure how to collect the data, how to design button. Once click on the button, it will go to method, how to call the control Apex class, how to pass the data to the variables, what is the purpose of variables, what is the purpose of public method, what is the purpose, everything is fine, right? Now my page is ready. My page is ready. We want to give this page to the client. So users is asking, my requirement is this one, you have to develop. So we will not give this Visual Force page directly to the users, right? What we have to do, by using this Visual Force page, I will create a tab. So by using this Visual Force page, we will create a tab. We developed one Visual Force page and Apex class. Then the next step is this functionality is working. Then the next step is we have to give this Visual Force page to the client. How we are going to give? We have to make this Visual Force page as a button, or we have to make this Visual Force page as a tab. Two options are there, button or tab. This is a tab, right? This is object to tab. This is object to tab. Like that Visual Force page also we will make it as a tab. How to make Visual Force page as a tab is nothing but again go to setup. Okay, again go to setup. Go to setup. Here, go to setup. Okay, go to setup. In the quick find tab, see here tabs are there, right? Create tabs, click on the tabs. Custom object tabs are there, right? Custom object tabs means custom object we are making as a tab, right? Custom object. Now go to your web tabs are there. Forget about this website web tabs. We will make URLs as a tabs. Okay, now coming into here Visual Force page tab, we are making Visual Force page as a tab. Click on this new button. Click on this new button. What is your Visual Force page? What is my Visual Force page? Demo student, right? It will show all the Visual Force page. A B C D demo student form 1. Okay, demo student form 1. Here demo student form 1. Yes, this is my visual force page. By using this visual force page, we are making a tab. Now go to your tab level. Yes, form, any name. Your tab name is based on your client requirement. Go and select this tab. Go and select this tab. So go and select the color. Click on the next button. Okay, click on the next button. Profile. Okay, provide all access. Then app also, we are trying to creating one tab. That tab should be accessible by all profiles and in all applications also it is available. So finally we created one tab, right? Finally we created one tab. So what is here? My tab name is nothing but a S form, right? Now close all these things. Close all these things. Go to here. So user he will come to here, he don't know this tab how we developed by using visual force page or some standards, he don't know. He will come to here, click on this form. So what I will do is I will also disable this one. See here, I am trying to disabling this one, disable development mode. Click on the disable development mode. So this is finally, see here, this is my form, this is my tab. I will tell to the user, boss, we have one form, that form name is nothing but student form. Go and access that form, and you have to any issues, let me know. What user he will do, he will come to your S form. Okay, and he will enter all the details, whatever the details he want, and click on the save button. Click on the save button here. Click on the save button. Yes, new record is created and it is redirecting into the newly created record, right? Everything is fine, right? So how many components we developed in this requirement? How many components we developed? one is one is visual force page, right? One is visual force page, right? Visual force page we develop, right? The second one is what? Apex class we develop, right? Apex class we develop, right? Then the third one is which component we develop? Tab, right? Tab. These three are the components, right? These three are the components. Okay, now the last point is the last point. For example, S form is there, right? Login as Akira Mohit. Okay, login as Akira Mohit. Go to here, Akira Mohit is there, right? Click on Akira Mohit. Click on Akira Mohit. Login that particular user. Let's see. Okay, user detail. What it will happen? Login here, Akira Mohit. S form is there, right? See, S form is there. Click on this one. Insufficient privilege access, here it is coming. So we developed one tab. Akira Mohit is trying to accessing that tab, but here insufficient privileged access, here it is coming. What is the issue? This is the last point. This is the last point. Generally, users will get, whenever they are trying to accessing the form, some users they will get insufficient privilege access. Then what is the issue? What is the issue is nothing but that user profile is what? Okay, 1 second. That user profile is what? That user profile. Otherwise directly go to this particular visual force page. Visual, which components we developed? Visual force page Apex class, right? Go to develop, go to Apex classes. What is my Apex class name? What is my Apex class name? Go to your demo. 1 second. What is my Apex class name? Go to here, demo student form 1 controller. This is my Apex class name, right? This is my Apex class name, right? Go to Apex class name. You have to search it. See here, this is my Apex class name, right? Beside you have to observe security is there, right? Security. Click on the security. See here, this is accessible by this class. We provide rights only for system administrator. But Akira Mohit is trying to accessing. So then what is the Akira Mohit profile? If you want, you will just go on to provide access. Otherwise, based on particular profile. So I'm providing access to all profiles. So Apex class, go to that particular Apex class. Go to this particular Apex class. You have security is one option is there. Click on that security and you have to provide. Now what is the next component we developed? The next component is nothing but visual force page, right? Go to visual force page. This is my visual force page, right? Click on security. So still here also a system administrator only will access. Select this one. Finally try to save this one. Finally try to save this one. Now login as Akira Mohit. Now login as Akira Mohit. See, go to here, Akira Mohit. Go to here, Akira Mohit. Login as Akira Mohit. Go to here, user detail. Login as this user, student form. See here, there is no issue. There is no issue. Why there is no issue? Why there is no issue here? Because of we provide access, enter all the details here, enter all the details here, enter all the details, click on the save button. See, again insufficient privilege access, here it is coming. What is the issue? Guess what is the issue? So when click on this particular button, what here it is happening? What here it is happening? It is entered into this particular method. In this method, we are trying to creating one record. Yes, record is creating, and again we are trying to opening that record, right? That record is related to student info, right? Whether this user profile is having access on that particular record or not. This is completely permission issue. Insufficient privilege is nothing but permanent. I mean, it's a permission issue. Where is the permission? We have to analyze. You are enter all this data here and click on the save button. Once click on the save button, where it will go to? It will go to this particular method, right? This method, it is trying to creating a record, right? Once created record, what we are doing? See here, we are redirecting to this particular one, right? See, but here it is coming as insufficient. Click on the save button. The insufficient privilege access. So what we will do? I don't know. It is coming as insufficient privilege access. What we will do? We activated debug logs, right? We activated debug logs for Mohit user, right? Any confusion? Okay. Now we developed the code. The developed code we are telling to the Akira Mohit, you have to access that code. First is trying to accessing the tab. Yes, tab is fine. But once click on the tab, it is coming error, insufficient. How this tab developed? By using Visual Force Page and Apex class, right? By using Visual Force Page and Apex class, right? Okay, so that we have to provide access. Next one is in that Apex class we are writing some logic which is related to object. Now go to Akira Mohit. See, go to Akira Mohit. Go to his profile, sales representative profile. Go to sales representative profile. Go to object settings. Go to object settings. Which object we are using? Student info, right? See, go to here, student info. See, student info, right? Or yes, student info object is there, right? Student info object. Click on this student info object. See, there is no access for him. There is no access for him. Still, it is loading. 1 second. Click on this edit. Still, it is accessing. It is not loading. Go to here, student info. Student info. You don't have an access. You will just go to that particular profile and you have to provide access here. Student info, right? Sorry. Click on the student info. No access. Student infos. See, click on this edit. You don't have an access. See, you don't have read access, create access, edit access, delete access. You will just go and provide. Shall we go and find from the debug logs? Already Akira Mohit, we activated the debug logs, right? Go to your debug logs. Debug logs. See, Apex. So for Akira Mohit, I think we did not activate a debug log. 6:53, 7:23 AM, 12:09. So I think time expired. 7:23 AM, right? This is 7:29 AM. Time expired. That's why it is not producing, because of this is 30 minutes, right? So Akira Mohit is trying to accessing the tab. When click on the tab, insufficient privilege access. What is the solution? That tab is a Visual Force Page tab. Go to that tab, Apex class under Visual Force Page. Then click on the details and click on the save button. It is displaying error message. Then what is the issue? Go to that particular method. You have to find student info is there. Student info record is creating, record is displaying. He is having access or not? Go to that particular profile and verify. Okay. This is for today's session. We will discuss in the next session. Okay, have any